Gonna steal your sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, Mom and Dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drinks, smoke, eat and cry. I'll never shoot up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I'll never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die.
And we are live, milking it for all it's worth.
You know what I was thinking about that?
Yes.
They're gonna, if like sometimes people listen to podcasts like a lot in a row.
Yeah.
You binge watch that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't skip it. Like when I'm at work and I'm like, dude, I'm on the mower and I got the podcast and it just plays the next one, and it just every time it's going back. You're like. Bacon, I hope this episode is fucking long, or I fucking die before the next episode.
No, we do 4-minute episodes. 3 minutes of it are yeah.
That's correct. You are correct.
Well, welcome everybody to episode 4 of season 2 of Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, brought to you by the wonderful person at moot.tv. It's just him.
Yeah.
I thank the wonderful people sometimes. I used to say the folk over at moot.tv. What, are we not live right now?
No, we are live.
We are live?
Yeah.
We are good? Hey, we're
just
live.
on your microphone.
Oh.
I need to get a pot cleaner for that.
Yeah, week 5 in a row. We need to get a pot cleaner.
Yeah.
If you have a pot cleaner,
clean your pots.
If you have a pot cleaner, you can send it to us at 123 Justin Sucks PA.
Yep. That is correct.
The address. If you put things in the mail, addressed on AOL Instant Messenger, it'll get to us. Well, I'm Kyle Mocha here for Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Justin Olimpedo.
Hello.
How you doing today, Justin?
Good.
You're good?
Sick now, man.
Yeah, you've been sick. Zach was sick before. Now you're sick. You think it's the same thing?
Probably.
Sharing the same cups? Is that what you guys doing?
I don't know.
Both licking toilet seats? Same toilet seat?
Sometimes you just share the same jock strap, not necessarily the cup.
Hey.
Not the cup, just the
Justin's
strap.
nuts are just so big.
Yeah.
Like I get a normal size,
He
and we
needs
wear
an
the same
XL.
jock strap, but he wears that
An
bigger
XL
cup.
long.
Yeah.
It's an extra long.
He's an extra long
large.
test. They're like chicken eggs.
Chicken eggs in a sock, just like hanging down there. That's what it is. That's what it is. Also joining us with his chicken eggs in a sock, we have Mr. Zachary Dorman. Oh, that was a slow
I need that
one.
every time, dude. I feel like fucking Stone Cold. Hell yeah.
Stone Cold?
Steve Austin.
Oh, Stone Cold. Oh, that's funny because this week we have featured music by a band called Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah, that's right. That is correct.
It's not Steve Austin though. It would be really sweet if he was in the band.
Yeah, it
Speaking of
would.
Killer,
Yeah.
did you know what old musician? His nickname was Killer.
Killer?
They called him Killer all the time, and I didn't realize.
No. This is someone we should. Johnny Cash.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis was
wow.
He
Killer.
was the Killer.
The Killer.
The Killer, dude.
Why?
And,
Like
I
a lady
believe
killer or
his
a
sister,
cousin killer?
His sister was the Chiller.
The Chiller.
No, his brother was the Chiller, and his sister was the Thriller.
And who was the filler? Were there any fillers?
The show is the film.
We are a filler. The whole
I guess he
thing.
used to just call people Killer.
Okay.
Like, but I thought that was like a
Hey
new
there, Killer.
thing. That was like from back in the
Hey,
whenever
Killer.
that
Yeah, he was
motherfucker
around in like the
Hey there,
50s.
Killer.
He's like
Killer.
mid 50s.
And he
Sun
when he
Records
liked
era.
you, he called you Killer, so they called him the Killer.
The Killer. All right.
Killer.
Look.
Well, speaking of somebody who's a
Yeah.
killer, somebody who's a killer in many ways, lady killer, human killer, Mr. Mikey Martino is joining us here today. How we doing, brother?
Not bad, not bad.
Wonderful. Well, welcome back. Now, we had said in the previous episode that you were on during season 1 that we were going to have you come on and we were going to talk about movies or specific movies or TV shows. But with the recent events today, we kind of decided to switch it up. Yesterday, yeah. Stan Lee passed away. Is that your phone? Making
Yeah, I
some
think
phone
it
I don't know if
interference?
it's mine or anyone.
Oh,
we all have
fired. You're fired. Everybody's fired. The whole show's fired. We're canceled.
Fuck.
It's done. All right, we'll see you
It's
later.
sunk.
All right, it's been
phone has
25
sunk the
episodes. Yeah, the phone has sunk the boat. They always worried about phones on planes. They didn't worry about phones on boats.
Damn.
They should have been worried about phones on boats.
75 showed us.
But Mr. Stan Lee passed away yesterday at the age of 95. So in honor and in memorial, we're kind of doing an episode that we're going to talk about him a little bit later on. More so, obviously, it's going to come up throughout the episode because we're all very distraught. We're all very sad. We wrote a song that is dedicated to him. The episode is kind of dedicated to him, and I don't know. He was just a weird guy that came up with a bunch of random shit. We'll get into the whole idea of whether or not he stole shit later on.
Well,
But yeah, so this is for Stan Lee. I mean, without him, movies would not be what they are in the last 20, 30 years.
I don't think art would be what it is.
It wouldn't. No.
Like
no.
that, there's so many influences and
You know who's gonna be real pissed that they're not on this episode?
Mr. Mark Miller.
yeah.
Mr. Mark the Killer
Miller. Mean Mark Miller is gonna be very
Mean
pissed
Mark
off.
Miller. He was so pissed off that he said something nice to us while he was listening to the show the other day.
Yeah.
And then we said something mean about him. And he's like, say something nice about you just to hear you guys. Something you already recorded.
Well, this whole
Say
show
something
just
mean about
exists
me.
so Mark can listen to us,
Yeah.
so we can
Thank you,
insult
Mark.
him. We have one listener. It is Mark.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and you're not Mark, who the fuck are you? Where are you from? Why are you
not
doing
Mark?
this? Why aren't you Mark? Why aren't you more mean like Mark is?
You're not Mark. Mark's at the mall.
Mark said, and that came up the other day. I was driving around with Alyssa, and I said something. I'm like, "You're not my mom. My mom's at the mall." And I just started dying
No one
laughing.
understands that.
And nobody
just-
can understand that. Nobody should understand.
I don't
that.
even remember where it came from,
think we're
but
at the
we
bar.
started it.
I don't think we were at the bar. I think we were on Mars, and
yeah,
somebody
that's
said something about somebody's mom, and I think I just turned around and went, "You're not my mom. My mom's at the mall." And then we
Well,
just kept
adding
"You're not my
to it.
dad. My dad's dead." And it was the idea of like, "You're not my mom," not because you don't look like her, the fact that you're younger than me, anything like that. Because my mom is definitively at the mall right now. Like, I know that for a fact. So if you're in front of me, there's no way you're my mom, because my mom's at the mall.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to her,
Was your mom at the mall at the time
I
you
don't
said
believe
that?
it. I do not believe that she was. I think I just said that
Yeah, I think it was just a random thing. Or maybe we were just driving around.
Yeah, I don't
forget
remember
the
exactly
fuck
what
it
it was.
was, too.
I remember not being in a mindset that it made any sense outside that mindset.
Well, we know you weren't driving, so it's quite
Yeah,
possible you were.
Yeah, you might have been driving. You
Yeah.
might have been driving.
Yeah.
I definitely was not.
All three of us were there, though.
Yeah, we were.
I think it was definitely all three of us and maybe Steve, a couple other people.
Now I don't know if anybody else knows that, but the three of us.
Yeah, I know Steve has thrown it out there before, I believe, but trying to explain that to anybody is a little weird, and then just me dying laughing over and over again, repeating in the car.
It's so funny to the three of
at
us.
the mall.
But it's not funny to other people.
It is.
I mean, it just got ridiculous.
Yeah, we just kept repeating it.
I think we got like louder, like, my mom's at the mall!
Nobody appreciates it. Nobody appreciates it but us. Another thing, Justin and I were having a conversation the other day about our gimmick that we've realized that we have for the show is we are promising to do a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
And we are doing none of them.
That's right.
And today is keeping in theme with that. The next time we have Mikey on, we're going to be talking about a specific movie.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Yep.
So
and then the next task was Elementary.
Yeah, we're going to watch Elementary. That
I didn't even
happen.
watch it, dude.
Dude, as soon as the show is over, I immediately forget everything that went on in the show.
See, I listened back to the show 2 or 3 times, and not all the way in its entirety 2 or 3 times, but like bits and pieces, and at least once all the way through.
To listen to us?
Yeah, no, it does, but I have to hear it just to make sure that we didn't say anything terrible.
Okay.
That's really not that I'm going to take it down.
Because we don't edit this.
We don't edit in any way. This is exactly how it happens going live. So I listen back just to make sure that it's not terribly boring.
Right.
Not to.
God, whose cell phone is doing that?
I don't know. I do not know. But it is. It's something that I do, and it does get a little. It does get. I
turned my cellular thing off.
Turn it off.
Turn my cellular off.
I'm
only on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm only on Wi-Fi too. I don't have service.
But it could be looking still.
Yeah, it could be looking. All right, I turned mine off. We'll just try to.
All right, Wi-Fi
do
only.
that. But yeah, so we like to promise things and then not deliver. Tonight, we didn't promise it on air, but we decided the other day that we were going to watch The Haunting of Hill House.
Which I did try to attempt to.
I have one episode. I still have the last episode.
Okay, I had watched about 1 episode altogether. And then I've seen little bits and pieces because Alyssa had been watching
really
it.
Good.
It is intense. It's terrifying. I am not a horror person in any way. And
which we found out before.
Yes, in the first 5 minutes of this show, I'm like watching it.
Crying.
I'm trying to watch it like right after I woke up, thinking like, okay, I just woke up, like whatever. I'm gonna turn it on, like it'll be a little bit less freaky. And then it was terrifying. But my immediate attraction to the show and why I do think I'm gonna go back to it, and what usually attracts me to anything is the cast.
I could care less about.
But she is Electrolux. You ever see Electrolux, the movie?
No,
about
but
the
my
porn star?
grandma had Electrolux vacuum cleaner.
Oh, well, this lady sucked and blew.
Is that why she was called that?
Yeah, I think that's why she was called that. But she's a gorgeous, wonderful actress, so I watch everything she's in. And then I always forget his real name, but Elliot from E.T.
Henry Thomas.
Yeah. He's
okay.
And he's.
I haven't seen him since Gangs in New York.
He was in Gangs
Oh,
of New
he
York.
was in Gangs of New York.
He's Leo's right-hand man.
Yeah,
His best friend that gets jealous.
And that's like almost 15 years ago. That's almost 15 years ago.
Sure.
So
That's crazy to think too. That
I don't know what he's been
movie's
up
that
to.
old.
Yeah.
Dude, Pat always says to me, "Yo, do you want to watch Gangs of New York?"
Yo, you got 5 hours to shit
That's
in.
too long.
No, but that movie's
It is great.
Okay, well,
It is.
on that movie, one thing that I love the movie. I've watched it probably like
I've
all
seen
the
it
way
3
through.
times.
I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times because it was one of my going to bed movies for a while. I just throw that on along with like Catch Me If You Can, Count of Monte Cristo, things like that are long enough, interesting enough.
That's one of the first DVDs I ever owned.
Oh, I think I still have. And what's the Guy Fieri's in it? Yeah,
Ferrari.
Guy Ferrari. Guy Ferrari. He's got that nice French place up at the casino. Yeah, you can go eat at. But I watched that movie.
John C. Reilly's in it, isn't he?
Yes, John C. Reilly.
Yeah, he is in it. Yeah.
Liam Neeson's in it.
Brendan Gleeson.
And,
Brendan Gleeson.
Who's the bad guy?
It's the Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right?
Yeah. Bill the Butcher. Yeah.
Did you watch There Will Be Blood? Did you like There Will Be
I
Blood?
love that movie.
It's
too,
a good movie. That is there's the I think it's the last.
I have to rewatch that because the first time I watched it,
the last scene in the bowling alley.
I never saw
with the bowling pin where he just like brutally beats the fuck out of that person. Leaves you just like it leaves like a weird air in the theater when you see it in the theater. It is so creepy. It is terrifying. But the whole milkshake scene is. I mean, yeah, that one. Yeah, I mean that's about all we can do is that song. Do of that song legally is my milkshake. You can't do any more of that song, or else we will get sued by whatever the dumb girl that sang. Who was that? Does anybody know what the name of that girl was?
Khalees.
Is that?
Yeah, she's great.
Really? Did she do other music after that?
Who cares?
I'm about to.
Wait, you'll really get sued for just saying it?
Yeah, I'll get sued for just saying she's dumb. We can do that. But just saying my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can get sued for saying it, but singing enough of it, we might get sued.
You could get flagged.
Yeah, you get flagged.
Well, I mean, she was married to Nas.
The internet.
Oh, she was married to Nas. Oh, jeez.
Internet.
Well,
the internet.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, while we're on the subject of music, something funny that happened, I don't know, it was last week or so with Claudio from Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, yeah.
So he famously has huge hair. And so he goes to social media and starts showing pictures of his new haircut where he has removed his mane and has gone down to short, kind of like a Chris Carrabba pompadour, sides shaved and everything.
It looks
really clean
It looks
cut.
very weird.
And it looks so weird, and he made a comment that he looks like, or somebody made a comment that, or maybe it was him or somebody else, that he looked like an attractive version, or like a weird version of his grandfather, but having like the hair cut and short. And people were in uproar about him cutting his hair. It was absurd. It's hair. It's
crazy,
somebody else's hair.
Wait, he actually cut his hair though?
No. What wound up happening?
Got people to believe that
he got everybody. He showed that picture there, and everybody believed it was real. And then during a performance, after a day or two of letting it kind of like hang out there, he was playing and he had a hat on. And it gets to some solo, and he goes and he kicks, and the hat comes flying off, and somehow he kept all his giant, huge mane of hair underneath like a dad hat, and had it all back, and you could not tell. And he just like kicked the head, or like just nodded his head forward, and just swung back and forth, and his hair just kind of spiraled out. And it was the reaction of his hair got a bigger reaction, I think, than the band coming out on stage.
How does he's never going to be allowed to cut that hair.
Exactly. After this, he definitely
cannot.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thought.
That it is dictating what he can and can't do, based on the fans. Do you think there's anybody else who has like held on to a style because Slash
Hulk Hogan
for sure. Oh my God, Hulk Hogan really, especially the bandana, just like prolonged that for forever. He only had the bandana after like Hollywood Hulk, right? Is that where he first?
No, he's always had the bandana.
Even
forever.
I feel like Steven Tyler,
yeah.
Anybody that's kind of just kept that whole same image.
But I mean,
most kind of 80s, 70s, 80s musicians, I guess, kind of like got their look.
Even Gene Simmons himself.
Yeah, they just never let go of that. They never let go of that. But that specific style is just it's weird because it wasn't an in thing during the scene for Claudio. When Coheed came out, that wasn't really the look. Big, huge afro hair. There's like maybe two guys that your buddy over here from At the Drive. What was his name again?
Cedric.
Yeah. His hair was signature, and when he cut his hair, it was a big thing. Like people lost their shit on that. Is there anybody that you've ever kind of like clung to an image of that when they changed it you got pissed off?
No.
Because I can't think. For me,
I think Davey Havoc.
I was gonna say the thing that
Davey Havoc from AFI, because I feel like now with like the weird like goatee stuff and like, the facial hair and stuff, I'm just like, man.
But did you cling to his old image of the McSqueeb?
Like the Miss Murder stuff? For sure. I thought that was a way better image for him than what he's got going on.
Yeah, what he's got going on now.
Yeah.
I think a big thing back in the mid 2000s during that this style of scene was 18 Visions. They went to the full glam, and then they kind of held on to that afterwards, and then I think they pigeonholed themselves into
They dialed it back.
that.
They dialed it back.
They dialed it back a little bit once that kind of was overpowering.
They stopped wearing scarves and shit on their neck and stuff.
Yeah, they didn't look as much like everybody was trying to be Nikki Sixx, because that's, for a while, that's literally what it looked like. But yeah, so it's weird that people are trying to dictate what the fuck a guy can look like, and it's weirder that he probably is. I mean, he's most likely okay with it. He's got this hair. He's had this hair.
Yeah, I mean,
he probably enjoys it, but
to be,
I feel like you gotta even me at some points I'm just like, today's the day I want to shave everything off, and I don't have the time.
Yeah. I'm never
actually, I don't
hair.
most of the time. You're never cutting your hair?
I'm afraid it won't.
Thank you.
I am afraid it won't come back.
Well, what is the last time you did cut your hair?
Junior year of high school, I baked my head.
Really?
Yeah, so that's 10 years ago now.
And you haven't cut your hair in 10 years?
Like, I haven't.
Like, you've trimmed it? And
like, it's been trimmed maybe 3 or 4 times in 10
So your
years.
hair is just at the length that it naturally has grown to?
It probably got an inch in the last 2 years.
Really?
I didn't use shampoo or conditioner for 5 years straight. And I still don't use shampoo. I only use conditioner now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like shampoo. I don't like the way it makes my hair feel.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The shampoo takes out all your natural hair oils.
I would say I use shampoo and conditioner about once every 2 weeks. I don't usually wash my hair.
I use tons of conditioner.
Yeah, just make it nice and soft.
Yeah, because my hair's unmanageable.
Do you condition your beard as well?
I was for a while, but not. When I had the goatee, I was conditioning and combing it.
Ooh. Now?
Well, there's nothing to comb anymore.
Nothing to comb. I mean, you can train it. You can get in there with a little brush and train it. Sure. I've got a little pocket comb that sometimes when it was shorter, I would get in there and be like, all right, I want to get rid of that stupid wisp that's going to grow, because, you know, being Eastern European to some degree, my beard just wants to do that terrorist sideways, you know, just like looks like the wind's blowing at all times.
Honestly, once I started combing the beard, though, I couldn't go a day without combing the beard.
No, you
know
got
what I mean?
it. It's
like,
addiction.
if you don't do it, and like then it grows in that shape. But once you do it once, then you got to commit to a beard comb.
Sure.
You got to commit to a beard comb. Another thing that we're all ready to commit to, I think, is a movie coming out next year, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That trailer's awesome, dude.
People hate this. People are going
People
again.
hate it. I see a lot of people loving it.
Oh my god! Every dumb review on YouTube that I've seen so far, it's just like everybody is in an uproar over how ridiculous this is going to be. And
Actually, the only headline.
this looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen anyone specifically mad. I've just seen lots of headlines that say that people are mad.
Yeah. It's
literally
reviews of people's madness.
I haven't spoken to anyone or watched a singular entity be mad about it.
Because here's the thing, most Pokemon fans are you have your extreme fans that are into all the lore and shit, and even regular fans probably know a lot about it. I like watching the show. I like the games. I
saw the first movie in the theaters.
Yeah,
the first Ash Ketchum movie.
Yeah.
The one with the real sweet.
I got a Game Boy and a Pokemon Yellow. That was the fucking shit, man. That was my first. I had a Super Nintendo, but that was my family's, it was really my mom's. I had one of those purple see-through Game Boy Colors and Pokemon Yellow, and that was my first my video game shit.
Yeah.
So Pokemon to me has always
You've grown up with it.
I've grown up with it. I was in fucking love with Pokemon when I was a kid. I still love it. I still play the new games when they come out.
Yeah. And there's a new one coming out for the Switch as well.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about trying to decide what form of Eevee I want as a tattoo. There want Jolteon or Vaporeon.
We are tripling our numbers with this conversation.
I know, dude. I'm coming out here as a gigantic Pokemon.
You like
fan.
ICP and Pokemon? That's the two biggest,
who
most
does it
important
really?
things to know about.
You're lying if you don't.
Richard is saying that he's seen that most people are kind of split about it. He knows a couple people who aren't that into it. He's joining us here live in the chat. If you do join us live on YouTube, you can chit chat with us. He said it looks like a solid buddy cop flick though, and that's what my thought is immediately. Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu is a fucking hilarious option.
Perfect,
Yeah, because
it is so
in my head, in my head, at any point in this movie, whether it happens or not, I'm just waiting for that Deadpool throw in. Not necessarily Deadpool.
He's
but
gonna
like
make fun of himself playing for.
Like just the way his delivery is, and just having.
Do you think the next Deadpool he rips on Pikachu?
That's what I was just gonna. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
And then do you think in the Pikachu movie there's going to be throw-ins to his other stuff as well? Do you think he's going to Deadpool it up in this a little bit?
If I'm not mistaken, they've done like little figures and shit, and like I don't know if it was a Pikachu.
This is a kids movie, though.
This is a kids movie.
It is aimed at kids.
But it's rated for kids, but I feel like it's rated for kids so that people our age can take
their kids to go see it
and still enjoy it.
And still enjoy it.
I think people are mad because it's not like classic Pokemon story.
I think so.
But I think to make a live action movie out of it, they had to go
visually
in this direction.
Some of the imagery from the Pokemon are awesome. Like the style that they went was perfect.
It's furry
not
Pikachu.
too real.
I like it.
It's not too real, but it's cartoony enough that it fits within a world.
Now, with this movie, do we know, Mikey, you're generally more in tune with what's coming down like the pipeline in the movie world. Do we have other plans for more in Pokemon this world, stuff? More Pokemon live action movies? Is this a trial? Dip their toe out there?
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah,
Trial by fire, I feel like. And
if they set up the characters right, they can just build off a story.
Yeah, because I mean, there are definitely people that are upset about like the way like Jigglypuff looks with the fur and stuff like that. And it's like not like it's not really like a shade of pink, more of like a yellow shade sort of and stuff. But I don't know, I feel like it definitely looks good.
Yeah, Richard's saying that it's a delicate situation here because it could turn out like Last Airbender.
Oh.
Ding dong!
Sorry about the noises. I have to re-disable all that. I apologize.
There might be noises.
Fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Mike is here to fire people.
You do this again, you're fired.
You do it again, you are fired. Yeah.
Buddy Cop is.
I don't think it'll be like Avatar, only because I feel like M. Night Shyamalan was the wrong guy to do.
I agree with that.
Definitely was.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. I feel like he
I'm gonna watch this movie, so that's what makes it completely different than the Avatar movie.
I mean, it's going to do
uninterested in that.
It will do well in the box office.
It'll do very well in the box office, and if it just does well in the box office, I think we're going to be getting more movies down the pipeline.
Sure.
And then they will go to your live action Ash Ketchum story. They'll go to more of the traditional battles. Now, in the games and other...
Well, this is a game. Detective Pikachu
I was
is
gonna ask,
a game.
Is this based on a game?
It's a game, and it is based on a game, and it's different characters, but the plot line of the movie is actually loosely based off of the game. Like, you have to find this one dude.
But the game is nothing like a traditional Pokemon.
No.
Was that a one-off game on its own as well?
Totally
Detective
different
Pikachu,
thing.
and just like in the movie, like the kid that is with Pikachu is the only one that can understand him.
Rich does say he doesn't think that Detective Pikachu will be like it. He's saying if they weren't serious about it. That's why the buddy cop system works.
Yeah, because you do get to be a little tongue-in-cheek with that. You get to have fun
Ryan
with
Reynolds,
the whole thing.
Really, he's fucking...
He honestly...
the world's
on fire right now.
Yeah,
he's on fire.
He's been doing the commercials for
that
game.
The game. Is it the Garfield game or a
Toon Blast?
Okay.
Toon Blast.
Yeah. And it's legit. At first, I thought it was like somebody spliced together like a video of him doing it, but he's legitimately doing commercials for an app now.
Yeah.
Like, he is.
Well, you know what? Chances are
he's got
chances are he either has like some sort of investment in that game, or he knows somebody who's making the game.
Maybe he really loves it.
Or they're giving him a fat payday to just do these minute-long spots on TV. You know what I mean?
I have not seen this yet.
From what I understand,
it's just him sitting there like in makeup and just going, hold on a second. They're like, hey, Mr. Reynolds, we need you to like walk down the red carpet. He's like, hold on, and he's just sitting there playing this game.
Usually he has like a stunt double that looks nothing.
There's got to be a good reason.
Yeah.
There's got to be a good reason. Either that or he loves the game.
Yeah,
maybe.
You know what I mean? And he like loves the game. He was like, I'll do a commercial for you guys.
Or they just paid him a whole shitload of money.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking too. I feel like they were just like, we'll give you this much money, and he's like, oh, to do this long, couple hours work to get paid what, a couple $100,000 probably. Like,
probably.
Sure, I'll do that.
Hell yeah. Another movie that's coming out a little bit sooner. I don't know. I think it's in the next month or so. We have Creed 2.
I can't wait to see that either. Oh my god.
I think everybody was shocked with the first Creed.
I feel like the son that they picked for Dolph Lundgren's kid is not what I would
No, he's like modern looking.
And I feel like he's very bland looking though.
He's modern looking Russian tough guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I thought they were going to go definitely more the blonde haired the
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren look.
Like direct. But I guess at the same time it's not like, it's not Rocky's kid. So they're not going to rehash the rules,
True, because Rocky's kid we all know is Milo Ventimiglia or whatever. Ventimiglia. that was his son in Rocky Balboa. So the plot of this is that Drago's son and Apollo Creed's son are facing off.
Yeah, and apparently, where Dolph Lundgren's character is at after he lost to Rocky, he lost it all.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like a broken man trying to live vicariously through his kid.
So he's been building his kid up, training his kid all
to
this
be the
time.
Best, so he could sort of regain his name and shit. Yeah.
Now, do you think in this movie they're gonna have the crazy testing facility?
The montage, and then have Michael B. Jordan.
Every Rocky movie.
I know they do.
But do you think he's going to be hooked up to all the machinery running, and then Michael B. Jordan's going to be with a beard out in the snow, pulling giant bales of hay behind him?
To that?
I hope. I want to see Michael B. Jordan with a giant beard and a big fro, just running through the fucking wilderness, just training for months on end. It's gonna be
beating giant slabs of half.
Now
cow.
I think this is a genius thing on Sylvester Stallone's side of it, because he did Rocky Balboa 9 years ago, I think it was 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
And for him to have done that, I mean, he made fun of the concept within that movie. They made it so that a video game predicted that he would win, and then he comes back as an old man. And everyone's like, "What are you doing? You're gonna get killed. Right. You're gonna get killed." And he nearly again almost gets killed in a fight. He couldn't keep going after that. It would not have been believable. It was one off on that you can, throw him out there as an old man. But if you do it again,
it was his George Foreman story.
Yeah, exactly.
George Foreman or any of those guys coming back.
I did like that movie.
It was fun.
I like that movie a lot. Yeah.
And I think it did a lot of justice. It kind of took back from what was it the last one in the 90s where he's training that guy that was the WWF wrestler.
Rocky 5.
Was it Rocky 5? Yeah.
I've never seen any of these movies.
You've never seen any Rocky movies?
No. Tommy Gunn was his name.
Really?
Tommy Gunn,
yeah. Okay, Tommy Gunn. So that one was kind of the
that was the street fight one, right?
Yeah, that was the street fight.
Yeah, he's like, touch me and I'll sue.
And he's training his kid how not to fight at school.
Yeah, and that's his real kid. That was Stage.
That was his real kid.
Stage Stallone. He's dead now, though.
Oh shit! Yeah. Is that why Milo Ventimiglia took over?
Probably.
Yeah. You think he would have had his real son in it if his real son had been alive?
Probably.
That's a good question, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, Michael B. Jordan, he did Black Panther. Fruitvale Station was the one that kind of put him on the award-worthy big map. You pointed out that he was in, what was the first one that you said you recognized him from, Mikey?
The Wire.
The Wire, the TV show The Wire.
He's a little kid in The Wire.
And then before that, he's in Hardball in the most
Chronicle.
Chronicle. Yeah, Chronicle is mid-2000s. But Hardball, he plays the kid that goes bad. He's the one that joins up with all the gangsters. And then that terribly sad scene where G-Baby gets killed in the shootout. He's just the kid that's sitting in the background. And then when I was looking through, realizing who he was and going back over that, I rewatched that scene. It's a fucking terrifyingly upsetting scene for a kid's baseball movie.
Oh yeah,
right.
They really went with the name Hardball on that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Now Michael B. Jordan, there have been rumors about other franchises being rebooted left and right, and there have been rumors of him even being Superman at one point.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you think of him that you go, he's doing a good job with the Creed storyline? Is there any other franchise that you think he could take over and run with?
I don't think it would be Superman.
No.
I think he could play a version. Well, in the comic books, there is a Superman from Earth 23 or something.
Okay.
I forget exactly, but that Michael B. Jordan could totally play, like, but he's not gonna. He wouldn't obviously be playing like Kal-El Superman.
Yeah, Kal-El Superman.
I mean? But I think in terms of franchises, I mean, other than Creed, and they could have totally kept him in the Marvel universe. They didn't have to.
Oh yeah, because he did Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's
But now that's now Disney's getting that back.
He's like one of like 5 people who have done 2 big roles in the Marvel universe. That's crazy.
Chris Evans was the original.
Yeah.
Human Torch.
And then both of them were. Well, Captain America was in Black Panther for a little bit, right? Was he in there?
He was in
just the Civil War, or not Civil War, the
Avengers.
The Avengers,
Infinity
okay.
War,
And Michael B. Jordan would have been gone by that point.
Yeah, definitely.
Another movie that's getting a reboot coming up, Aubrey Plaza is
Child's Play,
starring in the Child's Play reboot.
Yeah.
Now, do we know?
Orion's putting that out.
Really?
Yeah.
Orion still exists?
Yeah. They're coming back,
Shit. Do we know anything about that as far as the approach to the art side of it? Are they sticking with the traditional puppet? Are they updating that in any way? Do we know?
I don't know. But they're going to release a trailer soon, so.
Yeah,
I really hope
it's
not.
got to stay kind of campy.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to say anything as far as, like,
aren't there like a
fashion or anything-
million sequels that are CG to that shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went away from it.
Yeah.
I think if they go back, and then what's his name?
Well, they kind of brought it back,
the
though.
voice.
Like, he was patched up.
Yeah, I hope. Do we know if he's still in there?
He's not doing the reboot.
He's not doing
I don't
the reboot?
think. Yeah.
I've also seen. I've never seen a single one of those.
Well, because they're doing the reboot, but there's also like
More movies
the original creator of the Child's Play. Like, they're still doing that.
Oh, he has his own line going.
Yeah, now this is the Child's Play line. Like, it's just Child's Play.
Okay.
And like instead of like how his is now just Chucky.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally just Chucky. It's
well,
like,
maybe they're gonna start with him and then change up.
It's like Seed of Chucky, Bride
of Chucky.
But now like Child's Play is like the reboot. So like if it does well, it'll just.
So we're getting a Romero situation here, where Romero kept making the dead
movies.
And
well,
then...
Tom Savini remade Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mike Tyson, to step away from movie news, Mike Tyson has joined the weed business. He is now right up there with Willie Nelson, and he is
can work for him on his weed farm.
Yeah, you can go work for Mike Tyson on his weed farm. Would you trust Mike Tyson weed at the level that you would trust Willie Nelson weed?
Yeah.
If you go out to California,
I would.
how great do you think? Do you think it'll be? Do you think there'll be any names? Because I'm really hoping there's a punch out.
Yeah, it's gonna either a punch out or a knockout.
Yeah,
or
knockout.
One punch, 30 second.
Yeah, or all the names of all the characters you had to go through in his game.
Or
all of those intensity.
Just how long is how quick his knockouts were?
Yeah,
like 3 seconds.
3 second knockout. Oh my God, this is the Evander Holyfield. Fucking. It's mixed with bath salts, actually. It's mixed with you're gonna bite a nose or an ear off all this.
The ear biter.
All right. Is there any celebrity that you would 100% never buy their strain of weed from? Anybody that said, "Hey, I'm coming out with my own weed." Would you never, if you walked into one of those
Randy Quaid.
Lindsay Lohan weed you want to buy?
Randy Quaid.
I'd buy Randy Quaid weed.
I would buy.
Do you
Randy
watch
Quaid
those videos of him hanging out in a bathtub, belittling his wife? Oh my God, he's got to be smoking some crazy weed. Oh my Lord, Randy! I think we can just wrap it up on that. Randy Quaid is the one that you eat. Where is your strain of weed, Randy Quaid? Yeah. Would you smoke the Dennis Quaid weed? Be a little bit more mellow, I think. A little bit more mellowed out. Oh Lord. Christina Aguilera was at this bar I think it was in New Orleans.
I heard about that.
And she walked up to the band that was playing and wanted to sing with them, and they turned her down.
Nice.
They turned her down.
Hey man.
So I'm giving them an award that I want to try to start giving out every week.
They just ruined their careers.
Yeah, they just got.
They literally just turned down their stardom, the super stardom chance,
because
right there,
they did not want Tina up there on the stage with them. But I'm giving that band my 50 Cent Petty Moment award, and that's an award I'm going to try to give out. People that are just being amazingly petty in the music world, especially because I don't know. We talked about it last week or the week before. I don't know if you heard that 50 Cent spent $3,000, and I didn't know this. It was on Groupon.
Yeah.
He got them on
Ja Rule's teats.
Ja Rule's teats. That's expensive for Ja Rule's teats, man. Ja Rule's teats getting real pricey there. If that's how much you're paying for. That's a lot of them. That's 200 of his teats. $15 a pop. Actually, that's not really that bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some Ja Rule teats in here. Justin, work on that. Let's get some Ja Rule teats. But yeah, that's my 50 cent petty moment award that we're gonna try to give out to anybody that does something stupid, awesomely, terribly petty. And then before we go to break for our first break, I wanted to bring up Joe Perry. Got hospitalized.
Oh yeah, the heart attack.
He had. Did we get to heart attack? Is it officially a heart attack?
Yeah, I think it was a heart attack off stage.
And it happened after he performed with Billy Joel. Mm-hmm. So it's not even him performing Aerosmith. It was him. Can you imagine if he died and it wasn't even an Aerosmith concert he died from? It was just like filling in, playing like guitar with Billy Joel. Like he's playing Piano Man and he had a fucking
Dude, and after all. It's all catching up to him. That motherfucker party, dude.
Yeah, he's 68 years old, and he's probably got the heart of a 9,000-year-old warlock.
Yeah.
Cocaine,
not everybody can be Keith Richards, man.
No.
It's true, man. How that man is.
He's a fucking anomaly, that guy.
I don't think Keith Richards can be Keith Richards anymore. I think he has to bathe the Keith Richards off of him every morning just to keep going.
That was like Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds lasted a lot longer than I thought, man. He was made
of straight bourbon and cigars.
He died this year. He died this year, but me and Derek had seen him like two or 3 years ago at Wizard World in Philly, comic convention. Yeah. And he looked like he was dead already.
Yeah.
Really?
And I was surprised he was still living 3 years later. And what do you call it? He had just made a movie though, too, like recently. And Kevin Smith had tweeted about it because it made him super emotional. But it's actually like a good swan song for Burt Reynolds, and it's almost like it's almost like his life, sort of like through that movie. Yeah. It's not like his story, but it's like
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, we're gonna jump to our first break here. We're gonna be featuring music from a friend of mine from high school, Mr. Mike Frugielli, is in a band that is known as Stone Cold Killer.
Stone Cold Killer.
Stone Cold Killer. A little bit about them. They are a kind of just like an awesome party classic rock band out of Pittsburgh. So if you're listening to this and you enjoy what you're hearing, you can check them out on Bandcamp. It's bandcamp.com/Stone Cold Killer. On Twitter, they're SCK Pittsburgh at SCK Pittsburgh, and then SCK Pittsburgh on Instagram as well. And then they're available on Spotify, Stone Cold Killer. It is not pluralized. Very important to not pluralize it to Stone Cold Killers. I guess that's another thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is? Stone Cold Killers.
It sounds like a
movie.
Is it a movie? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a rapper, something like that. But the song that we are going to be playing from them is called "Turn Up for Love." So enjoy this song. We will be back shortly to talk about the Stan Lee song that we wrote for this episode. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. Bye.
Change, want to make it all go away.
All right. Welcome back to Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up. That was Stone Cold Killer, Turn Up for Love.
Yeah.
As we were saying while we were listening along to it, they are the perfect band if you were making a movie and you needed to play music in the background, like in a bar or at a party, and you couldn't get real music from the 70s or 80s or any rock music.
Right.
They sound like drinking beer and shooting whiskey.
Yeah.
That's what they sound like. And it's really fun. I really enjoy and appreciate them sending us that music to be played. Again, SCK Pittsburgh on Instagram, at SCK Pittsburgh on Twitter, and you can check them out on Spotify. Again, that was Turn Up for Love. They have a bunch of other music available. Really, just if you got a Camaro, and you got a mullet,
and you just got done watching Stranger Things,
put this on. This should be in Stranger Things.
It should be.
This should be when that kid's driving the fuck around.
Yeah,
like, make them. We should start a petition to get them on that show.
Somebody needs to YouTube or edit this whole thing. So take clips of the kid driving around
to Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Exactly.
We're gonna blow
they should just start making videos like that.
Yeah, just get the guy or get someone that looks enough like the guy.
Exactly.
Anybody. Just wear jeans and more jeans. Wear all jeans. Wear as much jeans as you can possibly wear. Listen to that music. Call Steve. Call Steve. He's got all the denim you need.
Call Steve.
He's the Canadian Tuxedo Emporium of East Stroudsburg, I believe.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was, again, Stone Cold Killer. Check them out on social medias. This week, we, as I alluded to earlier, we wrote a song in honor of Stan Lee, meaning that I wrote lyrics in honor of Stan Lee, and then a song was written. And this was a kind of a different approach than what we've been doing. We've kind of picked like more of a specific style in the last 3 weeks, or a band to be kind of influenced by, and we've fuck. You almost had a bottle opener. You almost. But this week we did a little different where, Zach, you just kind of fucked around on the guitar and came up with the riff.
Yeah.
And then
you
built
know what
it
you
off
wanted to talk
from
like
there.
You know what the topic that you
Yeah, I knew what I wanted to write about, and my original thought was to do as I called it, the Norma Jean song by Elton John, or Candle in the Wind, as it's more popularly known. And now I'm wishing that Norma Jean had a song called Elton John to make the whole situation way more confusing.
Maybe they'll come back and just
maybe they'll just cover Elton John, and it'll be a whole full circle there. Or a full circle.
Yeah.
Or a full circle. Or a full circle. So the song this week was in honor of Stan Lee. And aside from that, we got to talk about the beer real quick. We got to talk about the beer. We are drinking St. Pauli Girl.
Yes.
St. Pauli Girl, which is German lager. German lager. I have been in plenty of man caves that have St. Pauli Girl signs on the walls. I don't
actually have St. Pauli.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever consumed this beer in my entire life. I really don't think I've ever had it before.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
such a real lager.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is it a first sip?
Yeah. It's
good. That is sweet and delicious in all the right ways.
Yeah.
And you see, it's beard in strict accordance of the German purity law.
Oh, the German purity law of 1516.
They literally have a law in Germany about
1516
about their beer,
yes.
about how pure the beer is.
We don't have anything even remotely close to that here. Nothing. Now, can you make beer that is not in accordance to the purity law in Germany?
I think so, but this is
like an outlaw
when
beer.
You see that, when you see that tag, that means it's like brewed in the old school.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they
like Francis Connor has that on the label.
So they're following a recipe or style the way that they did it back in the day.
Hell yeah! Well,
I think that's how it works.
It's pretty fucking good. It's pretty fucking good. I do enjoy it. But back to the song, to the music.
Right.
We, like I said, initially said the idea of like an Elton John style song. Zach, would you say we are anywhere near an Elton John style song with this?
No.
What would you think we ended on, most likely? Is that on the board?
Yeah.
On the board?
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, no. We got bored on wetness.
Keep talking.
We're going to keep talking.
You're fired!
Is that three? Is that three for the night? Three strikes. Yeah, out of here.
This boat is sinking.
We're actually getting wet on this boat. We're actually getting wet.
I mean, I was born wet.
You were. I think all of us were. If you were a dry birth, please let us know. What
I was dry birth.
About? A dry birth, were you? Was that what you did? Did your mom hate you forever because of that? Oh, Lord.
No, they cut me out.
They cut you out?
There was, yeah.
Yeah, they cut me out too.
They cut me out.
Really? Is it a head size thing, do you think?
I was 8 pounds 9 ounces.
Is that big?
It's pretty big.
I was almost 10 pounds, I think.
Really?
I was 9 pounds.
I don't know what I was, but I just imagine the size of my head.
What were you, Justin?
What?
Justin came out 3 feet,
Yeah, your
no
mom is
idea.
tiny too.
26
Justin.
years old.
I'll be honest, I have no fucking idea, dude.
Me neither.
I don't know.
Unlike
Mom, will you tell me the story about when you tried to push me out of your vagina?
you never asked your mom that delicate question there?
No.
No. Maybe wait for like Thanksgiving.
I'm sure I have a fucking like book on it or some shit.
A book on how you came out of your mom's vagina?
Yes, a book
Do they have that?
specifically written
By the people
about
from
my mom.
Everybody Poops. It's Everybody Comes Out of the Vagina.
Yeah.
But some
Unless you
people
got cut
don't.
out. Yeah, unless you got
They
cut
say
out.
they say you're fundamentally different when you get cut out.
Maybe.
But you didn't experience birth like everyone else.
So does that make
there's-
you like more laid back, more relaxed, more full of anxiety?
I
Does
think
that
it was like
make
you're a crazy
a
person.
crazy person. All right.
I might be crazy.
You're like
man.
unnatural, you know.
Oh, I know that I was the first one my mom had to use drugs for. I was the fifth, and I was the first one drugs were used for. And then I think she just kept having to use drugs after that.
That's why she kept getting pregnant? She's like, oh man, I was so high.
I was
Why didn't I
wrecked.
do this before? Your dad's like, you can't do drugs.
You can't do drugs.
I can do drugs if I'm having a baby.
If I'm having a baby. That's why.
Sorry,
No, my mom.
Mrs. Mocha.
My
I didn't
mom
mean that.
doesn't even like to say the word drugs. I don't think that she got drunk once. She got drunk once at a wedding in the 70s, right?
Okay.
The waiter was walking around and kept bringing whiskey sours. It was in the 70s. I guess they just filled a whole tray of whiskey sours and walked around. And she didn't know what they were, so she took one thinking it was like a juice or something, and she was sipping it. She's like, "Oh, that's really good." And they kept coming around, and she had like 4 or 5 of them. And my mom's like 110 pounds at the time, like 23, 24 years old, something around there. And my dad wound up having to carry her out over his shoulder because she got so blitzed. And that is the one and only time that she ever got drunk. She's had like a couple of sips of wine since then. But she told us that story after, I mean, we could have used it, to our advantage or anything. She was a smart lady like that. Didn't give us ammo. It didn't give us ammo when we were 12 years old. The one time I got shit-faced, yes, whiskey sours. But then when Keith turned 21, I remember being like, "We're gonna have Mom's drink whiskey sours," and then telling Mom, "Yeah, we had your juice, Mom. We had your juice. We got more of your juice." Oh my God, maybe that's what happened to me. Maybe my mom was sneaking whiskey sours into my juice. Maybe. In the words of Zach Storman, I'm sorry, Mrs. Mocha. I didn't mean to say
I'm sorry
that.
to all mothers. If you're a mother, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what? Mothers all deserve an apology. You go through terrible things just to become a mother, like having sex with a man. I feel so bad for you on that one.
I feel bad for the last person I had sex with.
Me too. I feel bad for her. Feel bad.
He's not kidding.
I'm not gonna lie about it. I feel bad. Sorry.
It's a guilty conscience type of situation. Now the music, the song this week.
Okay, so
we started off trying to do an Elton John style song. What the fuck happened? What did we do?
I just looked up the chords to "Candle in the Wind" or "Norma Jean" or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was A was the first chord.
Yes.
So
all right.
So I played an A. A major was the first chord, but so I played A minor instead.
Okay.
And then totally forgot that we were gonna write a song that tried to sound like Elton John.
And then what did you do from there?
I just played played a chord progression slow, then I played it fast,
Yeah.
Then did you go slow again?
And then I did something a little different.
different.
Then I went slow again.
Oh.
And then none of this had any feeling. It was just like the most bland.
Yeah, it was pretty simple.
It could have been
simple.
anything.
Yeah.
And then we let Justin play drums.
For a while. Yeah, you just
Like
went
just
off.
on loop. Like here's one section on loop, and he tried 400 different beats to it till I heard like you know what I mean till he played something that I was like, all right, that's cool, but none of it necessarily went together.
All right.
And then I did
nothing
the
really.
wicked, nonsensical solo.
Yeah. Well, that solo, that was when we were doing it. I didn't know where to sing, and I knew that I can just kind of sing things, and you're gonna cut and splice, you know, where it sounds good and where it doesn't. That is you said it right after you did you say the most nonsensical solo that you ever?
No, I think I said it was the best solo.
The best solo you ever did? Okay. It is pretty fucking good.
It's pretty nonsensical.
It's
though.
all over the place. It's jazz. It's jazz, you know? It's
It gets
almost
very
jazz.
jazzy, yeah.
It's jazz, motherfucker.
And then Justin and I both kind of had the same thought. You said it kind of got Pink Floyd
yeah,
feeling
like you
at a
started
certain point.
singing and it had
Yeah.
that Pink Floyd feeling, especially towards the end.
Definitely. Now, lyrically, I was trying I was gonna just go real heavy on the references throughout the entire thing and try to like throw a bunch of cheesy little one lines here and there about different characters he created. But I thought Candle in the Wind, he doesn't sit there and reference every Marilyn Monroe movie over and over again. He just kind of talks about her and her influence and her experience. And the chorus lyrics that I wrote for the chorus here, goodbye Stanley Lieb. It's Lieber. I just shortened it to Lieb because it fit better, and it's more confusing that way for other people listening. They'll be like, who the fuck is this about? I don't know a Stanley Lieb. But you beautiful thief, you maker of dreams, orchestrator of men, you master of pretend. Again, we're going to talk about in the next segment more about that. But a lot of people hate Stan Lee. I know he's dead now. But a lot of people really do not like Stan Lee because they think he's a thief. They think that he just, you know, put the right people in position and took credit for everything that they did. And in my opinion, he's kind of, I thought he's an orchestrator of men. He was somebody that knew exactly that, how to put someone in the right position and direct them. Walt Disney, exactly. It's the same feeling there. And I just really like the phrase, you master of pretend. And then when we were recording it, that was the part that I started feeling more Pink Floyd about, that line right there. And then obviously into the void you go, into the great unknown. And then we just started saying how the song was going to be about Stanley being resurrected,
well,
or not resurrected. What did we say?
Is it still in there where Zach is yelling?
It's coming back.
It's coming back, but it sounds like he's coming back.
If
you can still
and we were
hear
like,
it,
he's coming back from the dead. He's going to be respawned in some way.
Those are I think my favorite part of the songs have been the extra shit that I've decided to not cut.
Yeah.
Because if we were writing a real music song, not that this is
a real music song.
I mean, if we were working on a brunch song, like an official, like
trying to actually release
like an album
good
track,
music, yes,
we would go back through and cut all that extra noise and the top. But in this, I think it's more fun.
I guess it depends on what kind of album you're trying to go for.
Yeah,
true.
But I've been trying to leave as much extra
little shit,
little artifacts and things throughout it. And I think that, just the nuance of it does something for me.
Hell yeah.
Right. And once again, we haven't heard the final.
Yeah, we definitely don't listen to the final product until we are live on air. So if you're listening live on air, Richard, you get to listen live along with everybody else. And if you're listening in the future, everybody not named Richard, so Mark, you get to hear it then. I'm also talking to myself in the future now. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? Cool, that sounds
good.
Good.
Day, man.
You know Kyle's actually going to answer himself, too, when he hears
Well, now I'm going to be able to just play this. I'm just going to have conversations with myself in front of people. I'm just going to go to this and just play it on loop. It's going to be pathetic and weird and sad, and I think that just screams Kyle Mocha. Pathetic, weird, and sad, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to jump into the song. What did we name it? Stand by Lee. Stand by Lee. All right, so here is Stand by Lee. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No record breaking here. We'll get back to our long songs some other week.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will see you in a couple of minutes. Bye-bye.
Burning bright on your grand re-entrance, leaving behind a world you formed for mouse to mold and hold, misform and be torn, misform and be torn. Stories despite the origins, you shined a light, you held our sides, you shine a light, you held our sides. Goodbye, Stanley Lee. Shine to light. You held our sides into the void. You go into the great unknown. Slip through. Go in
Okay, all right. What the fuck?
Awesome.
That is amazing. Oh my
that
god.
end is pure Limp Bizkit.
Okay. Okay.
Back in the day, they used to put like little crazy tracks between songs. You know what I mean? On like the negative.
Yeah.
It would say in your CD player.
Korn did that too. I think like
yeah, but like,
start an album if you figured out how to go backwards on it.
Yeah.
So it was like negative track space.
But like Limp Bizkit always had like it was the DJ would make some like
thanks, Rich.
weird fucking noises. You know what I mean? Like between songs, and that's what when I heard that fucking beacon, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally.
And then you gotta kick it up the last like 10 seconds. The last 10 seconds, just fucking kick it up.
Oh, yeah,
Rich said dat bass, and that ruled. Ha ha. I think he was serious about it ruling. The ha ha, I think, is just, you know, kind of a colloquial thing that he's just throwing in there. You know, he's just.
No, he hates it.
Yeah, he hated it. He's being
It
sarcastic.
had like a Modest Mouse feel to it.
Yeah, it was all over the place. Yeah, well, Modest Mouse and Pink Floyd go together. You know, in our brains at
and
least
a little
they go together.
Country injection.
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, hell yeah! All right, well, again, that was Stand By Lee, our song dedicated to Stan Lee.
Correct.
The whole reason for the episode really is to kind of talk about him. We've got Mikey here to join us. Mikey, you, when it comes to comic book movies specifically, you are the person that I know I can
just saying
go
comics
to.
in general too.
Comics in general. For me, my interest is generally in the film side of it, but I always want to kind of get your opinion because you are way immersed in that culture than most people.
Yeah,
you and
I definitely,
Derek,
I read
you
some
and Derek are two people that
Derek reads more than I do, but I definitely read.
and you go to the conventions.
Oh,
you
yeah,
do
for sure.
all of the fanboy things that I always want to do. I see you doing them. So. Your immediate thoughts with the passing of Stan Lee. What are your thoughts on the man? Everything that you thought?
I don't hate Stan Lee. I think Stan Lee is great. I think you know, and we were talking about this before. I think he's definitely the Steve Jobs of Marvel. He's the face of Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't necessarily help the fact that he was pushed to the forefront of everything Marvel ever did. You know what I mean? Because there was a time, even when Stan Lee was the face of the company, that he didn't own it or anything. Like, he never really owned it or anything. All the work that he did was for hire. They just took care of him so well and not the artists. And he never stuck up for the artists to get more money the way he was. That's where all the hate stems from. So it's not that he really stole anything, more so than he didn't really
give equal fair credit.
Yeah, like he didn't fight for it. And they were supposedly his best friends. You know what I mean? Like these are like work colleagues that like he was friendly with, and over the years, you know, like him and Jack Kirby and stuff, and like they had like a little bit of a falling out and stuff because Jack Kirby, the guy who created X-Men, and you know,
the one who was the
you know, all those guys,
really the visual influence of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko.
And Ditko is mainly Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Kirby, he did Captain America like before Stan Lee.
Yeah, that's Joe Simon.
Was that,
Jack
was
Kirby,
that in the newspapers?
I don't know if it was in the newspapers, but
it was pre-Marvel.
It was definitely on the.
Captain America started out as a newspaper comic.
Might have.
It was Timely Comics. It was before it was Marvel. Captain America like had his own books from Timely Comics.
Okay.
And I think what had happened was it was him and Bucky in Timely Comics during World War II, and then in that comic book he dies.
Okay.
And he gets put on ice. And then when Kirby and Stan Lee did the Avengers together, they like one of the, I think it's like the 4th or 5th issue or something like that, where they like de-ice Captain America, like in the movie, like in the movie where they de-ice him or whatever, right, and it's like is his like resurrection, and but you know it's because he wasn't, you know, he was a character before Marvel had come out or whatever.
Now what I've learned of Stan Lee and what I can respect about the guy is, as you said, he was the Steve Jobs. Justin, you said before, like Walt Disney.
He was a visionary.
He was the visionary. He was the one that kind of was able to piece it all together. He could go to Jack Kirby and say, "I have this idea for a character. Here's the name of the character. Here's my idea of what it should look like or what its the main attributes should be.
Right.
But I'm coming up with dozens of characters, and you go and take this, and he wasn't micromanaging. He was more doling out the responsibilities to the people that he knew could do it properly.
And like what another whole part of like where the thievery line comes from is what would happen was he would get so busy with doing stuff for Marvel, like on the TV and film side, and like
being the face,
being the brand, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Literally being the brand.
That brand.
He was so busy that what would happen is the artist would give him panels drawn up, and basically the artist would come up with a story without writing a script of any kind. And if they did, it would be very like bare bones. But the panels would be already drawn out, and then basically Stan Lee would just write his own dialogue as to what he, and make it one whole story.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that's why they're like, those artists should have got more credit than they, they got and stuff like that, because they, technically, you did kind of write the story.
Sure, but it was already pre-done. Anybody
but there's no, no. See, this is the thing. They did there were no scripts.
There were no scripts. So
no. What I'm saying is anybody could have come in and made a story from the imagery.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now I've heard that they would do suggest dialogue notes, or like I wrote this and this is where I'm thinking this guy versus this guy, this type of situation. This would make sense.
Well, and that's the thing. Jack Kirby was like he was a great artist.
Yeah.
Or he was a good artist. Because he's very unproportional. There's a lot of stuff. If you look at a lot of Jack Kirby's work, his proportions are very like out of order. But he was so good at that time. Nobody in comics was making scenes on a comic book look that action packed.
Okay.
For it not moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got like the hard pass on that. Like no one cares because it's really cool looking artwork and stuff. Right. But he was not a good writer.
Became for me too, finding new artists that way that were doing different things, like artists that were more. I
don't need stuff anatomically correct. If it looks like it's a good scene and it's a good picture, then I'm with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know if you that Ready Player One ad.
Okay. Yeah.
You notice how that dude's leg on the that main ad where he's like hanging off the thing. If you look at that ad, dude, and you could pull it up online or whatever, his leg is like all the way down the ad.
Weird.
Wait,
the whole way. Ready Player One ad, or like the poster, movie poster. The one where he's like hanging off of something.
That's here?
The first,
Oh,
wow.
Look how far down his leg is.
Jeez. Yeah, his leg is like Slender Man. Like, holy shit, that's like at least twice, 3 times as long as it should be.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't think so. I think that's just a huge mess up, and they just ran.
But when you look at that, until you notice the leg, if you didn't point that out to me,
you would never know.
Or if you didn't know what the movie was.
And that's Jack Kirby's artwork to me. I feel like, you know what I mean? Unless you're like literally like analyzing his artwork, and not just like running through it to get the story
action,
and stuff.
It's supposed to be
a page turner.
Frame.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a page turner, right? But if you sit there and analyze the thing, it's like you will find an arm that's like all the way across the page, and it's like or way bigger than it needs to be, but it's like to express what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So with Kirby and Ditko, right?
Yeah, Steve Ditko. Yeah.
So those were the 2 biggest artists that were outspoken against Stan Lee.
It's not even that they were outspoken. They didn't. It's not like they hated. Like they weren't like going after Stan Lee.
Okay.
They just didn't. They didn't. Jack Kirby wasn't treated right. He wasn't getting enough money, so he left and he went to DC.
Okay.
And he created Darkseid and like all the New Gods and stuff like that.
Okay.
And,
which a lot of that
Mr.
shit
Miracle
is really cool, man.
Oh yeah, and the New Gods are about to get a movie.
Hell yeah.
Are they? I didn't realize that. Cool.
They're about to get a movie from Ava DuVernay, Selma.
Now, when he went to DC and he switched over, I'm sure that was a huge thing and caused even more of a
lot of the artists did back then. If they were getting shafted from one spot, they'd go to the next. And
now, did he get taken care of better at DC? Did he
bit better, enough to like fill out his career?
For
the rest of his career, he worked for DC.
He worked so he never went back to Marvel.
He did at a later date, if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't for anything crazy.
Okay,
it wasn't for his legacy pretty much died out by like the late 80s, early 90s.
Now,
he died in 94 or whatever.
What were the last like big characters that Stan Lee actually had hands on creating? Was he creating all the way up through like the 90s and like that era?
He created it's an Indian hero actually called Chakra the Invincible, and personally, I mean, I don't know much about it, and I don't think it's necessarily very big here.
Okay.
But it's huge in India, I guess.
Okay.
And he actually had like direct. He co-created that.
When did that come out? Was that 90s? That recently?
No. Yeah, like late 2000s.
Oh, really? So he was still creating.
Pretty recent. Oh, yeah.
I know he did a lot of
sense.
TV. He did his like Marvels of like the human,
Marvel, the
real superhero.
Modern Marvels, or
yeah,
no, not Modern Marvels.
No, Modern Marvels is like a how to get made type of thing.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
But
the whole Bollywood movement, dude, they have major superhero fucking stories and shit. So it only makes sense to target India.
Yeah, if you're going to be looking, I mean, even if you look at other like films, you look at the big like the Fast and the Furious movies or any real like rock movie, any of those big action movies, they're all built for the international audience.
Yeah,
they get a huge release in America, and we love us some Fast and the Furious, but over there, all of like the minor characters that we don't know in those movies are huge stars in those countries.
Movies don't make enough domestically anymore because it's so easy to watch stuff online.
Yeah,
and they
gotta cater
or at home or whatever.
Yeah, you have to go
overseas, the theater going experience is way cooler and way better.
Yeah. It's just booming over there.
It gets people out there,
and him being a visionary as he was and having such foresight, he was able to see we need to open up the market to not just the American, the American market. And you said it's Chakra.
Yeah, Chakra. I mean, I'm sure at the same time, it's like as much as he might have wanted to do that. I'm sure they just paid him a fat.
Oh, sure,
sure,
definitely.
Because I'm sure he's not like sitting there writing it.
Yeah.
Because no one sits there, writing thou and the, like all that kind of stuff.
Right,
yeah.
That's like a very old style of writing that he never got away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, he co-created the character. He came up with the concept of the character and stuff
Definitely.
like that. So like,
what would, in your personal opinion, do you think is maybe his best and B your favorite character that he created?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, hands down on both.
I'll agree with you on that.
He's just he's the best. It's like, and I grew up with Spider-Man. I just beat Spider-Man on PlayStation.
I'm texting Mark too to get his input. Okay. I know that his favorite character of all time was. He loves the Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man?
I mean, I have to agree on that. Like, he has that certain amount of wit, and it's just what you would think that...
He likes Stan Lee because he put real life into his characters.
Okay.
And then he started Spider-Man. Like, you can relate to Spider-Man because he's just like a...
smart-ass kid.
Yeah,
a smart
it was his idea. It was his idea to to directly correlate the X-Men being mutants to racism.
Sure.
Okay.
Back then in the 60s.
And it makes sense.
So the fact that he was able to bring real life social interactions and shit that's going on in the world and funnel it through his fantasy world for kids to grow up and be like, okay,
that's
this is the
Mark
wrong
said
way to
it's
do
better
this,
than the DC characters because the DC characters are sort of like one-dimensional.
Yeah, this is bad.
Most people
back
are
then,
not going to relate.
60s, 70s DC and stuff totally was very cookie cutter, like very prim and proper. Stuff.
And nobody's going to relate to him.
But then in the 80s when they did like Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that, like the darker stuff is when the late 80s is when
but Stanley had already injected that personality into the Marvel stuff by then.
And I also say you talked about, or Mark said that bringing life into the characters relatable. Yeah. Romero also was another creator that would bring up things about racism and differences. Just because we had talked about it a little bit.
The whole Dawn of the Dead is like all about consumerism.
Yep, exactly.
I think any great writer, despite what era you're existing at, you have to take the social stories if you want to relate to people. Sure. If you want to, you look at anybody from Mark Twain to C.S. Lewis, like old writers did that. Modern day writers, like not all of them do that, and that's what you get lost in. Like there are a million books out. You can go find any book in a bookstore that isn't going to jump out at you until you see that there's some correlation to something that is happening to you or to the world around you.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes any book rereadable, any movie rewatchable, and so on and so forth. Is Where is it going with that?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's the
it's being relatable.
Yeah,
it's being relatable. You know, if you see yourself in the things you're watching or the things you're seeing, or you know, you feel that type of way. You know what I mean? You're gonna want to keep going.
Yeah, and then the layers that you kind of get to. Oh, Star Wars for sure. Yeah.
Growing up as a kid, everybody wanted to be either a Jedi, Sith, or bounty hunter, something.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
most of my friends wanted to be Sith.
So growing up,
they still do.
I mean, just the thought of having some sort of power, like you could just lift somebody up and fucking...
Yeah, and it gives you... It's escapism at its best.
And the same thing that comics did from back in the day.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you have to give Stan Lee credit for. Whether or not he created all these characters, he was, again, at the forefront of everything, being the face of the company. Sure. He was able to introduce generations and generations of kids to new characters, teach them these lessons, and do it in a really fun, enjoyable way. And like we said before, the world of movies, the world of art wouldn't be the same without him.
Right.
But specifically nowadays, the world of movies is almost all superhero, and it all kind of goes back. There were superhero movies before this, but it all kind of goes back to when they sold.
Those are the
X-Men.
movies that make money.
When X-Men got sold, and we had discussed this when Mark was on, kind of the background on that, when they said originally they had Danzig to play Wolverine. That was who was going to play Wolverine. And they
glad that didn't happen, honestly.
Well, the funny thing was,
I love Danzig, but
everybody was like, it makes sense. He's short and angry, and
got the chops,
yeah. He's got that.
Chops.
Yeah. Why are you going to put this 6'3" guy as Wolverine? Doesn't really make sense. But that movie comes out and it blows the roof off of how people looked at movies and blockbuster movies.
Same thing with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah,
oh my god.
When that first came out, I was like, damn, they fucking killed it on like superhero.
Yeah, he wasn't as much of a smart ass as you wanted, but visually.
Well, he tried it in the third.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they tried to make him. I don't know what.
Well, Raimi was done. Raimi was done. He wanted to.
He wanted to get out.
He wanted it out because he was trying to work on the Warcraft movie. He was originally supposed to work on the Warcraft movie, then did not.
Okay.
Well, I was once that Spider-Man game came out and I beat it, I was like all about watching the Sam Raimi Jones again because I don't know if you noticed, but the music from those movies is totally intertwined in the it's totally intertwined.
Like, that's
in the
the one thing when I was showing you, like just you could just fucking
and the Avengers music
glide around. Yeah, you could just glide around the fucking town and randomly like when you stop and then if you're not paying attention, the music as soon as you start going again, the music kicks in. And you're like, I feel like I'm playing a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely for that game something that is super attractive to that definitely draws you in and keeps you wanting to play and keeps you wanting to just keep swinging all over the city.
Or even if I'm not playing, just fucking.
But
jump in the world for a little while.
Spider-Man 3 wasn't supposed to be as convoluted. I've been watching a lot of like little things, YouTube videos and whatnot, and Sam Raimi actually explains how he had no idea who Venom really was, honestly, and he wanted Sandman to be the only villain.
Yeah, I do know
Sony kept like shoehorning Venom onto into the movie and forcing it on him. So finally he was like, okay, fine, like we'll put him in or whatever, and that's why he's all like weird and like has that weird screech and and Topher Grace is just like the worst
weirdest option for that character.
Yeah, I don't know why
Eddie
that
Brock,
was. I mean, visually maybe.
The one with Tom Hardy was great, man. I like that movie a lot.
I still haven't seen it.
I think I'm gonna try and see it this weekend.
It's so good. You say that all the time.
Keep saying that. Yeah, keep saying that. Keep thinking that. Eventually it'll be on HBO.
Weekend, so fuck you guys.
Maybe you can go try and see it.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to. I'm probably not going to. I never get to the movies anymore. I never get to them.
I can't go on the weekends. I spend all weekend fixing the fucking Jeep. Every
weekend, that's all you're doing?
Every week.
Well, you don't have off?
I'm off. I'm off this weekend.
You're off this weekend? I get to the
maybe go Sunday
for the big Marvel releases.
I'd go see it again,
Right.
I didn't get to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, but
so
other
if you
than
motherfuckers want to go, we're going Sunday.
I'll think about it. Sunday, if we can do it afternoon, I'd potentially be able to do that.
I don't care, yeah.
It'll
be a matinee, so it'll be cheap as fuck.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, I can do that. Let's do it Sunday afternoon. That works.
I have to work on the Jeep. I can't.
Something will be broken.
The only day of the week that I have to fix my fucking bucket of shit.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll be changing leaf springs outside, boys. Enjoy your fucking movie.
Yeah, we'll enjoy the movie.
Listen to me on the radio.
It should be nice and warm out there for
Oh
you, so
God,
it'll be good.
it's getting worse, man.
But the Marvel releases are the ones that if I'm getting out to a movie,
That's
I'm
what you're
getting out to them.
Did you go see Infinity War? Or did you go? Yeah, Infinity War.
I saw Infinity War in theater.
Opening night?
I love the theaters.
I don't
man.
think I was able to see it opening night.
I love going to the movies.
Yeah.
But that and the Star Wars movies, despite what they are, I'm seeing those in theaters because they are built for the big screen. And they're built for home viewing on a huge screen. But
It's still not
I'm a
the same
modest,
thing,
like
dude.
42-inch screen, and I'm not one of those people with like an 8-inch, fucking
55.
tele.
It's still not the same, dude.
It isn't
It's
the
still
same.
not
The sound,
no matter
everything.
how good of quality
it is like a record is built to be played and listened to on a record player. You can transfer it to another format if you want. It's not going to sound the same.
Nothing like
These are
overpaying
built for the theater.
concessions.
Yeah. I'm all right with that.
I'm good too, man.
I know
love
how cheap popcorn is. I know how cheap
Fuck
it
it.
is. Whatever. Give me that paper bucket full of it.
Yeah, who gives a
Oh
shit?
my
I know.
God.
I agree. I want the whole experience.
That's
They
why I'm
got
going to
this
the
new movie
theater.
in Allentown called Movie Tavern.
Okay.
And it's
Oh, is it a
Movie
bar?
Tavern, Trexler Town, but it's like Alamo Draft House.
Fuck
now.
yeah,
We have basically an Alamo Draft
Hell
House.
yeah.
And it's like recliners. You get your own little private
Yeah,
table.
dude.
Nice.
You like all these
Food
different
and
kinds of
booze?
food and booze. They bring it out
Oh,
to you and
yeah.
everything. And
But
shit.
is it like
does that
you
cost
buy
to go to?
dinner in a movie
I've
where
been
it's
there
like
yet.
$100?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's not that expensive. But I just recently had won a screening
Okay.
to go see Shaun of the Dead there again,
Ooh.
like a revival or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was the night of the Cinder Inn Halloween party, so couldn't go. But I had won 4 tickets to go.
Jeez.
And I was like,
dude.
"Yo, Richard, let's go." He's like, "Go to this party." I was like, "Stupid Cinder party."
Hey, sorry about it.
Stupid!
I was in a dress. It was almost worth missing. It was almost worth missing. I was a very, very not sexy librarian. But with the Marvel releases, what were I mean, obviously we were saying Spider-Man and the X-Men movies. What would you say is the movie that you were anticipating coming out the most ahead? Like, whether it's like the first Marvel Avengers movie, the first like Iron Man. What one?
After the first Avengers, after the first Avengers, I just whichever movie Thanos was going to be in. That's what I wanted.
Because they do tease that at the end of it.
At the end of the first
and
Avengers,
I remember everybody in the theater being split between like maybe 80% going like, who the hell is that, and then 20% going, Thanos. And I'm just sitting there like going, I don't know comic books really, but that is fucking intense, and that guy looks terrifying.
Yeah.
And so
That is a cool scene.
that's 2010, 2011. That one came out.
2012.
2012. So then you had to wait 6 years for Thanos to get on screen.
No, because he's in Guardians.
Oh, he does show up in Guardians.
He's in Guardians. He's in the first Guardians.
So expansive.
Yeah. And then what do you call it?
Expensive.
Expensive, yes.
What? He's in Guardians, and then he shows up.
Does he do anything like the Civil War?
He's in something where he's like he's in an end credits out of nowhere where he's like, I guess I'll just have to go myself. Oh, it might be the end of Guardians. It might be the end of Guardians.
Okay, the end of Guardians.
Actually, yeah.
All right.
Guardians 2?
Guardians 2, yeah.
Okay.
Now, do you think the upcoming, which have they announced the title yet? I know they've said Avengers Assemble and a bunch of other
pretty sure it's going to be Annihilation. I think
Annihilation?
It got leaked a little while back.
Okay.
It's going to be
Mortal Kombat!
Yeah, right.
Ooh, you think it'll be as good
Well,
as that?
Annihilation was a comic book run. That
Okay.
was an actual comic book arc. If I'm not mistaken, it had to do like directly with like the Nova Corps and stuff.
All right, so this upcoming one, Annihilation, we'll call it.
And Captain Marvel.
Wait,
and stuff
so
like
what is coming out before the next?
It's Captain Marvel is due out.
Is Spider-Man
which takes place in the 90s.
Which takes place in the 90s. There's not a Spider-Man before. The new Spider-Man will be after the next Avengers movie.
Yeah, for sure. Everything is going to be after the next Avengers movie.
So it's Captain Marvel and then Avengers Assemble.
A lot of time.
Do you predict that Avengers Assemble will break every box office record? Do you think they're building it up enough?
Definitely, because Infinity War was like slamming records left and right.
Yeah.
Hey, and I have a feeling that the second one, I feel
Kitty,
like
stop playing with the backs. She is getting dangerous. Don't spill anything. That's your dad's job.
Fired.
Now, we, in the past, went over and made some predictions on who we think should play characters moving forward. With the merging of everything, I believe it was the episode Mark was on, or maybe the episode you were on, we threw out that Shia LaBeouf should get the reboot position of Wolverine. What do you think about Shia LaBeouf?
I don't think I was there for that, because I would have said, hell no.
You don't think so? He's short, he's angry.
He did beat up Tom Hardy. He did beat Tom Hardy.
And he beat up Tom Hardy.
What?
Yeah, on the movie,
set of the movie where they played the three brothers.
Yeah, the Outlaw Boys, whatever the hell that movie is
Shia
called.
beat Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
he got pissed
Tom
off.
Hardy's a pussy in
and
real
he
life.
beat the fuck out of Tom Hardy.
He is.
Apparently. Apparently. So we threw that. Who do you think should play any of the X-Men characters being rebooted now?
Over here.
Where would you go with a reboot of whether it's Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm? Everybody that we're seeing right now is wrapping up. I think it's Dark Phoenix is pretty much the end of that storyline. And in the next phase, Marvel is going to introduce them. Do you think anybody? Because Tom Hardy would have been the option before he did Venom. He would have been the option.
Yeah.
The most.
I'm excited to see where they're going with more Venom. I haven't even seen it, but.
Yeah.
I just love.
It just crossed 700 million.
Hell yeah.
Worldwide. So yeah, it's definitely getting at least 2 or 3 more.
Damn.
Do you think Ben Affleck would be a good Wolverine? You think he'd be a good Wolverine?
No.
What about Matt Damon?
What about Matt Damon?
Matt Damon. No.
What about Casey Affleck?
No.
What about Casey Damon?
Is there such
I don't know. That'd be great if you had a little brother named
That would
Casey
be hilarious.
Damon. That'd be amazing.
I think it should be Logan Paul.
Logan Paul? He'd be really good.
Logan?
I think he should play Angel. He'd be good as Angel. Cut off his wings and throw him off a building. It'll be good for everybody. It'll be good. It'll be good. But is there anybody that you've thought of, like in the past, when knowing that they're probably going to revisit?
There was this dude. There was this show called Banshee on Cinemax.
Okay.
The main character Sheriff
I know what
Hood.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the main character Sheriff Hood. I feel like he would be a fantastic Wolverine.
You think?
But he'll never get cast as that. He'll never get cast.
Do you think going unknown is the best route?
That's what they're gonna do.
They're gonna have to go unknown.
That's what they did with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
and look at what happened. You know what I mean?
One of the biggest stars.
Look at Henry Cavill. You know what I mean?
Was he really an unknown at that point?
I mean, Hugh
Jackman, yeah,
he had done
was nothing
a
at that
small
point.
handful of things. He was slightly big in Australia because of one TV show that his wife
he was
were
nothing
on.
at that point. It was because of X-Men that got them roles.
Yeah, and his wife apparently made his entire career happen because he got on a show. He actually was on Colbert the other night telling a story about how his wife and he were hanging out, and Mick Jagger showed up at his house to like pick up his wife and a couple other people like before they were married, and she said, "Tell Mick Jagger I'm hanging out with Hugh Jackman." And then it was like 2 years or 3 years before he got the role of Wolverine. And he was like, I thought it was fucking, amazing that she like turned down Mick Jagger for me. And it's like today, it's just like Hugh Jackman, Mick Jagger. Which one do you want to hang out with?
Right.
I don't know. It might be Mick Jagger, depending on what you're trying to go
that
for.
Makes sense.
But yeah, he wasn't really anybody before that movie. And
I hadn't seen him in stuff though.
Yeah,
I've seen movies.
Yeah, he was just like small bit parts.
Yeah, all right.
But he wasn't like starring in anything huge.
Because then he did Swordfish right after.
Swordfish
X-Men.
was right after that. Yeah. That kind of helped solidify him a little bit more.
For some reason, I thought that was reversed.
Like right after, like within, like I think Swordfish 2001. That's 2000.
Yeah.
Or very close
Vice
to
versa. Might have literally been shooting it at the same time. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Now coming down the pipeline from Marvel, what are you anticipating being? I know that they have some that they've announced, some that they've kind of like canceled. What are you looking forward to the most coming up from Marvel?
Other than the next Avengers
and the Captain.
I'm definitely excited for Venom 2 because they're definitely doing that. There's no way they're not doing that with how much.
Now, not having seen it at all,
and that means Spider-Man's not the rights to Spider-Man's definitely not going back to Marvel now at this point.
Really?
Yeah, but dude, look how much money Venom just made. They don't
so
even
are they
need to
pulling
get those characters back?
Are they pulling Tom Holland into that?
No, because that's technically Sony's Spider-Man.
Okay.
But
We
they're
talking about
allowing
the
him.
Amazing Spider-Man or just Spider-Man?
No, this new one, the new guy, Tom Holland.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's technically Sony Spider-Man, and I feel like they wanted to make sure Venom was gonna sell before they decided to put it in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that it has sold, it's like it's such a strong. Well, yeah, there's no way they're not keeping it.
Yeah.
They just made a fuck ton of money off of it, but.
Into the Spider-Verse. That's my next.
I can't wait for that.
That's my next.
The cartoon one.
That's the cartoon one.
The one where John
was
Mulaney's playing. Yeah, I thought that was the game.
Yeah.
I saw the preview for it. I thought that was the game. I'm like, this is gonna be the greatest fucking game ever.
Awesome, dude.
But that looks so amazing.
Visually, the way the animation looks almost like.
And they've even rumored that
sort of.
that the main old kind of schleppy Spider-Man. That the guy from New Girl, I forget his name, is doing the voice.
Jake Johnson.
Yeah, Jake Johnson. That he's doing the voice of. They've alluded to that being Tobey Maguire's one, kind of after like a decade of being like run down and you know letting the events of the third Spider-Man kind of affect him, and make him kind of like a washed up and just a schlup. Like he looks pathetic.
Yeah.
But it looks
over it.
It's gonna be
fun, dude. It'll be a fun movie.
Do you think that spawns a line of movies in that vein from the
probably
like one-offs of you said Spider-Ham? Is that what
Spider-Ham? Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna go in that sense, but more movies off of that character.
Well, yeah, no, because like I think they're just because there's so many more Spider-Man than they put in this movie. They just put like the 5 main.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Verse is also a comic book arc or whatever.
Spider-Ham has existed in
Spider-Ham's real.
And how long has he existed?
Like in real life?
In real life?
In real life.
He's everywhere.
But what do you call it? No, he's been around for a long time, just the same way as like Batmite and stuff from Batman and stuff.
Okay, so does he predate Spider-Pig from the Simpsons movie?
Definitely.
Okay, because that was when I saw this, I was like, are they just doing like a huge nod to the Simpsons right here?
Yeah.
Spider-Pig does whatever a Spider-Pig does. All right. So when is that? That's coming out like around Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's be Christmas Day. I think.
Yeah, it might be. I'm definitely seeing that shit.
Oh, sweet.
I mean,
that'd be a good Christmas present. Now with the last Avengers one with the snap. And Thanos wiping out half of all December 14th. Very nice. That's right after we wrap before the holidays. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, cool.
But with the snap and wiping out half of everybody, and there being movies lined up down the line for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is dead right now. Do we obviously reinstate everybody after Avengers Annihilation, or are there people that are just dead?
There's definitely going to be some people that are dead, and I almost feel like, because with the whole thing that happened with James Gunn and stuff, and how Batista's like so on Gunn's side, and Gunn now works for WB and stuff.
Right.
I have a feeling Drax isn't coming back.
Okay.
Because he badmouthed Disney so bad with that whole thing. It's like there's no way Disney's gonna have him back. And if they, I mean, they might just because they'll be like whatever.
Maybe just to have him in the back.
Just to have it happen.
Now, but yeah, I have a feeling Drax ain't coming back. I mean, all of the Guardians franchise is on hold for now, and I almost feel like it's because Disney's like, let's wait till this blows over and we'll rehire James Gunn once we're.
I don't see them doing that.
You know what? I feel like give it some time.
They're gonna hold that grudge. I think it's the
not
media
even a grudge.
ran with that. Yeah, but the media ran with that story so hard.
Yeah, but the fact that he got hired by Warner Brothers already to do Suicide Squad 2, which is another group of misfits team. You know what I mean? Once he makes Warner Brothers another $700 million to $1 billion on Suicide Squad 2, Disney's gonna be like, okay, let's like, you know, and it'll be,
get him back.
And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, James Gunn is back.
They're gonna Mel Gibson him. They're just gonna give it 6-7 years and bring him back. Everything's fine.
Wait till it blows over. Because look at all the shit Mel Gibson said about the Jews and shit, and then out of nowhere,
he's allowed to be in Daddy's Home too.
Yeah, and his career is still on fire.
Exactly,
he's still doing great. You know what I mean?
Like, he can make a weird Jodie Foster movie with a pet puppet. What the fuck was that? A stuffed animal? That weird.
Oh, I don't even know what that. I don't even know what that's called.
So a beaver. The beaver.
Oh, the beaver. Yeah. You're right. Actually,
beaver. Oh my god. All right. So. I think my favorite thing coming up with the next Avengers movie are the rumors that we're going to get Professor Hulk. Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know if it'll be exactly like that, but yeah, like they're saying that Mark Ruffalo might be like out, and it's just going to be Hulk, and or not even that Mark Ruffalo is going to be out per se, but he'll just be lending his voice. I feel like
they kind of alluded to that whole thing.
Well, with the whole struggle between.
Yeah, I thought
can't control it anymore.
Yeah, I thought that Hulk was scared of Thanos, and what the directors of the movie had actually explained was that Hulk is just tired of being the hero for Bruce Banner. He wants Banner to like figure shit out himself, right. and so that way he doesn't have to be called upon every time, and that's why he didn't turn back into Banner for like 2 years or whatever in
during Ragnarok.
Yeah, because he's like he wanted to enjoy his time.
Yeah.
So he took control and he took over, and then the idea of Professor Hulk, correct me if I'm wrong, in the comics is the strength of Hulk with the brain of Banner.
Well, the thing is in the comics they were able to extract Banner from the Hulk.
Oh.
But Hulk was able to maintain intelligence.
So it was saving Banner from ever having to deal with that. Right, but now it just makes him a normal smart guy.
And then Hulk is just smart Hulk, and then there's Banner, who's also.
Which would be a cool route if they went to, because they could.
They could totally do that.
Because along with the Avengers Annihilation name leak, there's that artwork that came out of everybody in like their suits, and it could have just been fan art, really, really, really well done.
Yeah.
But it does put Hulk in a suit, and it does make him look more human than just like a big green monster. Yeah, look up, see if you can find the Annihilation artwork. But they said with the title that it's not anything that's been mentioned in any movies in the past, the name. So Avengers Assemble most likely wouldn't be it. I thought that was kind of the most obvious one to go with. So Annihilation. What other titles have they rumored for it?
That's it.
That's really it?
Yeah,
Avengers 4.
Assemble.
And at one point it was Infinity War Part 2, but they wanted to make sure that everyone knew that it was its own totally separate movie. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah, that one right there. That you just said. Yeah, that one's the artwork that they put up. So you see Hulk in that.
This is from a video game, man.
It could be. It could be, but it's got Captain Marvel in it. It's got everybody. So this was an alleged leak, but it very well could be. Oh, it's an audio. Right. But yeah, so this was the what everyone said the artwork was going to look like for it. But yeah, sweet. Now. Closing thoughts from everybody on Stan Lee. Pretty much, the guy was a really, really good salesman.
Yeah, he was good at what he did.
He was a real creative mind.
While he took a lot of credit, some of it, most of it was not deserved. He did what he. He's the reason why people even gave a shit about Marvel Comics.
I mean, there's a reason why he was up until his death still the face. He was in every fucking movie as a cameo.
He was the narrator. He was the narrator of all the cartoons.
You're right.
Yeah, True Believers. You know what I mean? Like all the time. Right. Excelsior. Like all. Come on.
Excelsior.
You know what I mean? Like he's the guy.
Yeah.
Are they gonna digitally put him?
Cameos?
No, he shot like 4 or 5 cameos that haven't aired. Right.
Oh,
so he's still gonna be in
and ready to go.
Yeah, he's got a cameo in Venom.
Really?
I'm sure
he has. He didn't create Venom, right?
He didn't create Venom, but he did. But
he's been in all of the movies in one way or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe like the original Nick Cage,
the old Nick Cage, the old Fantastic Four, like the Silver Surfer from like the '90s. Those maybe not.
No, definitely not. But
was he in
was he in Howard the Duck?
No,
not in Howard the Duck.
It started with X-Men, right? That's the first
X-Men or Spider-Man.
I think that was the first one of his.
It was
X-Men came first.
I believe it was like X-Men 2 or X-Men 3 or whatever.
Okay.
Or it might have been X-Men 3.
I mean, his best cameo, in my opinion, will always be Mallrats.
Oh yeah.
That's what Mark texted me too. He said Stanley was great in Mallrats.
In Mallrats, that was the first time I, not being someone that read comic books growing up, saw something and actually saw who Stan Lee was outside of the cartoons. I just thought it was a character made up for the cartoons because there's like a Spider-Man cartoon that he's just he's just in there and he goes swinging around with Spider-Man and it's a little weird like fourth wall breaking part of the cartoon. But then I saw that, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's fucking real, and he is the godfather of everything comic books.
Yeah.
Do you think people's opinion of Stan Lee is going to change now that he has died? Do you think the haters die down, or do you think it gets worse?
No. I think people are always going to hate on Stan Lee because, they always feel, everybody who calls himself a fan is always going to have some sort of stance on Stan Lee. However, I feel like, one, you weren't there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Two, you don't make that kind of money and you don't get that kind of fame without stepping on some toes and some necks,
Yeah, that's true.
It's gonna happen.
And and I feel like, if people really did give a shit the way that people say they give a shit about like him being a thief and whatnot, he wouldn't have been like the most like sought after celebrity at any comic convention or any kind of convention.
What's another story I heard? Hugh Jackman saying that he was at it was right after X-Men or X2 came out, and he's on a green carpet or at a Comic-Con or something like that, and he walks out and there is nobody there to greet him because Stan Lee is at the far end of the carpet.
Right. Everybody loves Stan Lee.
400 people all sitting around trying to get... But meanwhile, the guy who's the movie star, the one who's the screen face of the franchise is standing right here. And that's how big the guy was. He was,
think about it.
If
huge. Somebody says Marvel, immediately Stan Lee.
Stan Lee.
Back of your head.
And that's the thing. When you think of Marvel, you're not thinking Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko. Nobody even fucking knows what Steve Ditko looks like, really. You know what I mean? There's like one person that does. You know what I mean? and he died recently. He died recently this year. This year too.
It was like May or something.
Something like that. And and I don't know. You can't fault the guy for just being good at what he does, or what he did. Right?
What was that?
Stan Lee's wife died this year as well.
Either this year or last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jeez,
but really,
Jeez. But yeah, the guy was a visionary. He was somebody like that. We've already said he was able to take people, put them in the right position, and orchestrate everything. And for that,
you got great fucking
you
stories
have to give him credit.
Person,
and literally everything that he gave the world, everything that you got from Stan Lee for just being there, even if he didn't create it hands-on, our movie-going experiences are forever changed because of that. Art is forever changed.
Oh, yeah, for
Comic books, humor, the way that, you can approach just a character-driven storyline is all, not all, but a large part due to him.
Yeah, and we have to keep in mind, too, like, Dan, my favorite thing related to is the Community episode where everybody has to get likes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody...
Get likes and you vote, and then if it's kind of
and you can stay in with the clicks, and if you're not liked, you're the outcast. But it's cool to hate shit now, man.
Yeah, no,
definitely love to hate things.
I know
negativity.
And sometimes
I'll
find myself getting
not me, man. I'll find the good stuff in anything.
Hell
yeah. But sometimes it's just fucking easier. Like it's not easier, but sometimes you just get caught up in some stupid shit, and it's like whatever.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, the Amish, they got caught up in some stupid shit.
Like how much I'm caught up in hating the Amish.
Yeah. What is it, because of their heaters? You don't like their heaters? How are they doing that? They don't like electricity, but they're making these heaters.
They're wizards.
What are they doing?
They're really wizards.
They do have beards, like wizards have beards. I think. Who do you think is more likely magic, the Amish or the Mormon?
Amish are the gangsters, the Mormons are the wizards.
You think the Mormons are the wizards? Yeah. They do have magic underwear. I've been proven wrong, saying that many times before. But I'm going to keep saying they wear magic underwear. Huh? It protects them. Ooh.
Underpants Harry.
There's a superhero we need. Mormon Man.
Mormon Man?
Sweet Jeebus. Sweet Mormon Jeebus.
He can visit 400 houses.
Orgasmo's a Mormon.
Orgasmo is a Mormon. Yeah, right. You're right. We already have him. We already have the superhero that we deserve and that we need.
Thank you.
Where's that reboot when you need it? Let's get that going.
We doesn't need a reboot. Just go watch Orgasmo twice in a row. It's so good.
Have you guys ever watched Cannibal, the musical?
No, I never got to see that.
Mikey, have you ever seen that?
It's the...
That's Stone Trey Parker. Yeah. It's the first movie they ever did. It's like basically old VHS quality shitty. About the Wild West. It's so fucked up, dude. At one point, all of the Native Americans are Japanese, and they have the Japanese flag wrapped around the fucking teepees. It's like the most ridiculous
nice
shit.
So they couldn't get Native Americans, or they just chose to go Japanese?
I don't think they gave a fuck. Yeah,
nice. Oh, Lord.
Think they gave a fuck.
Another superhero that we need right there. Trey Parker and Matt Stone are always the superheroes we need. All right. Well, hey, we're going to wrap up this episode of Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up. A big thank you to Mr. Mikey Martino for joining us. Thank you so much, brother. And maybe next time we'll actually get on doing a specific movie talk and stuff like that.
We should go into that thing that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, the pitch. Yeah. The idea for the pitch where we're going to come up with an idea and pitch it to different writers and directors for what their next project should be. We could start working on that as well. As always, I've been joined here by Mr. Justin Olimpado.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And Mr. Zachary.
Fight the Amish.
Stormin. You need to fight the Amish or else they're going to come for you.
Well, they ain't going to hear this.
They're going to Rumspringa all over you.
You can say what
They're going to Rumspringa all
Which is the best part of Sex Drive, dude.
Yeah, that is. That movie is great.
Underrated if you've never seen it.
Underrated movie.
Watch that movie.
The unrated version is hilarious.
Seth Green as
Cyclops in that shit.
Yeah, no one's gonna chili cornhole my brother. Yeah,
I love that movie.
Oh my god,
watch that movie.
Talking to Jean-Claude Van Damme on the poster and shit. Yeah, I love that shit. I love that movie.
Oh my god, smell my finger. Oh, dude, I think you got the wrong hole. Oh, whatever. All right. Well, as always, check out the other podcasts from Moot.tv, White Wasabi, and Let Me Ask You a Question. We're dropping episodes along with Let Me Ask You a Question every Monday on iTunes and Stitcher. So make sure you're subscribing on there. We will see you. Not next week. We're not going to be doing an episode next week on Thanksgiving week. We moved Mikey up to this week for that.
Right.
So then we'll be back in 2 weeks. And I'm not exactly sure. We might have your sister coming on. I have to confirm with her. But she said
this is a 2 week break.
Yeah, not just a 1 week. We're just going to be off next week because Thanksgiving. I got some shit to take care of, and then we're going to be back for the week after that.
Gotcha.
And then I think we have three or four episodes in a row leading up to our holiday extravaganza Christmas special, which is going to feature Mean Mark Miller, which is going to drop our viewership.
I was having a nice, relaxing day, and then my phone blew up as to how we were making fun of him. Dude.
Oh my god, he complains about it. He complains about it. You know he loves it. He just feeding that ego. He's just he's such an egomaniac, such a rude man. And you know what? I hear he hates Stevie Nicks like with a passion.
Damn.
Like personally.
All right, so here's the new thing.
Here's
the new thing that we have to do. We have to have a live fight.
Yeah.
Steve Warner.
Yeah.
Versus Mark Miller.
Over Stevie Nicks?
Over Stevie Nicks.
Just Stevie Nicks is wonderful. I don't hate Stevie Nicks. I don't hate her.
I don't. Where did this
Why
come
do you
from?
hate her? Who started saying this? This is ridiculous. That's what's going to be. That's what's going to be. All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll be back again. As always, we will have...
We did get a comment. Archaeologist finally got around to having a listen.
Oh, nice.
I think that's...
I think that might be an archaeologist that we know.
Yeah.
A little crusty guy named John. Well, sorry, I think he might have already logged up. Thanks for joining us, John. But we are going to close out this episode, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned for the podcast dropping on iTunes on Mondays. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Moot.tv.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own show. Who am I? Kelsey Grammer. If I could only drink like him, we're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be weak. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be total experimental pieces of shit. We're not over yet. Now we are.